I think 4 or 5 years ago it sort of got out that there is a bluefin run sort of coming up around the corner of East Cape. Hey guys, yeah, my name's Russell Hugh Ensor. I've been brought up in the industry since I was born, pretty much, 1988. My father and mother started charter boating. We first started out with Rarahi, 1938 vessel, 48 foot long, and progressed up from there. About a year or two later, we bought Tikuya, 1978 she was built. She's a 56 foot long carry boat. And a couple of years later, we bought Ohariri, which is an ex-patrol vessel. Ministry of Fisheries owned and ran it for many years. She's built in 1965, 60 footer, does 30 knots, fast boat. We still have Tikuya, and we've just bought Rarahi back, so that's really cool. But yeah, my history is running them pretty much my whole life. But yeah, after my father passed away 7 years ago, my brother and sister and I carried on working for Mum, running Tikuya. Sort of wanted to move up the ladder and get into a bit of offshore fishing. So I really wanted an opportunity on a game fishing boat, which that came up when we were trying to sell Tikuya. Rick Flaude actually bought Striker, the old famous game fishing boat from Bay of Islands, and he, luckily enough, pulled in the berth next to me. So I got to know Rick, and we were just about on the verge of selling Tikuya, and we did. We sold TK, and I had the idea of let's get Striker going again. It was such a beautiful old game boat with all the history, and I felt quite proud to bring it back into the game, and caught a lot of fish. And yeah, Rick obviously seen a bit of an opportunity with me, and I seen an opportunity with Rick to have a lot of fun and move up the ladder and get into a bit of offshore fishing. So I decided to go down and do my skipper's ticket down at Westport. I went down to Westport for 2 weeks and sat my offshore ticket. And that ticket allows me to do 50-mile offshore instead of the 12, which is the SRL, or I had the ILM, which is Inshore Launch Muster, which is the older version. So yeah, did my ticket, got the boat back into survey, and started running offshore charters, and also inshore charters as well. But yeah, it's been great. It's been an amazing opportunity, and I've really enjoyed every minute of it. It's been a lot of challenges with the old girl. We've had to spend a lot of money on her to bring her back up to a chartering standard. There was a lot of work needed doing, but we got it all done. Spent a lot of money on the boat, and now it's an amazing machine. It is an absolute unreal machine. It's proven itself in many ways, especially in the bluefin fishing industry. Just with the weather that we get down at Waihau, the weather and the conditions, and yeah, it's just been a great boat. It's got a great saloon, great setup, 2 showers, 2 toilets, sleeps 8 people, so it's perfect for us down at Waihau. So we go to Waihau every year, mid-June, normally around June 14th. We'll head down to Waihau and we'll fish Waihau till early August, and then we'll slowly move up the coast towards the Rangateras, out the Rangateras and the Alderman Rise, and we do push even further north than that a little bit, just following the Bluefin Tuna run as it moves up the coast. Yeah, so as far as I know with the Waihau and the bluefin industry down there, the bluefin run's always been there, but it was more the commercial sector they had it, and yeah, they just never really told anyone about it, I guess. And I think 4 or 5 years ago it sort of got out that there is a bluefin run sort of coming up around the corner of East Cape, and yeah, the private sector got onto it, and ever since then it's been progressing every year, and it seems to me like there's more and more tuna coming up every year too. Last year we still had a great season. I'm very new to the game. I've never done any game fishing before. Like, my old boats were just solely bottom fishing boats, you know, they're not sort of boats you tow lures and all that sort of stuff. So I've only been in the game fishing industry this will be my 3rd season. The first season was really just learning a lot and learning by mistakes. Lost a lot of fish and didn't really know a lot about it. I never had anyone to teach me anything about game fishing. Never had a tutor in any way at all. So it's all been learning off my own back and through friends. I've had a lot of good friends around me giving me a lot of advice. And yeah, so Oh, things I've learnt that I was getting wrong, just how to rig the gear, drag settings, where to run the lures, different lures do different action in the water, and playing around with all that sort of stuff. And yeah, pretty much just trial and error. Rightio, so the gear we use is we love the catch gear. So I met John, what, about 3 years ago when I was getting into the industry. And yeah, really hit it off with John, awesome dude. And he said he was keen to support me and supply us with some jigs and some rods. And so we ran with it. And we took some GGX 5,000 reels and some 250 gram jigging rods. And I've also got a couple of 150 gram jigging rods and the 400s. But we find with the Bluefin, the 250 gram jigging rods from John are the ultimate, absolute ultimate. You cannot break these rods, they're unbelievable. We've caught up to 140 kilo Bluefin Tuna on the 250 gram jigging rods. The one last year measured at 2090. So it was 2 meters and 2 meters 90. Massive tuna, so just over 2 meters. So yeah, it would have been 130 to 140 kilo. That rod and reel had that tuna to the boat within 40 minutes. It was a long fight, but it was pretty impressive, mate. That rod was bent in half, and we also double them up with the double troubles, 200 gram double troubles, and I have started using the 300 grams when the weather's a bit not well. And they just perform, they just absolutely perform. Like, people bring out their own jigs and before they know it, they're swapping them out to catch jigs. So yeah, they just put them down, they're like tuna candy. They just love them, yeah. What I reckon makes the lures so good, definitely the glow aspect in them, and the motley coloured. I think that motley coloured lures rather than having the plain coloured lures just seems to work. You know, we've used the plain coloured lures where they're sort of one colour, with a bit of glow in them, and you know they do catch the fish, but then you swap them out to a double trouble motley coloured lure, like motley coloured jig, and they just straight on, and a lot of the time they're hitting them on the drop. And maybe the action of the jig as well, you know, like I set them up so they flutter. They're not just knife diving straight down, they actually flutter on the way down. And we get a lot of fish on the drop as well. And a lot of fish we've been catching, as you stop the jig to start jigging, they'll hook up straight away. Yeah, so. That was amazing. That was an insane night though. It was not only that did we have the right conditions to chum, we only drifted 50 meters in 2 hours. So we had the time to get the bait to come to the surface. So we had the lights at the back of the boat were just full of bait fish and these little silver lanternfish, which is what the tuna seem to feed on. It was so thick you could hardly see through the lanternfish, and that's what was bringing the tuna up to the surface. And at times there'd be 5, 6 tuna busting up at the back of the boat, right in the light. Like, you're literally hand feeding these fish. It was just chunking, we just kept chumming, and the fish just kept coming up. And yeah, we even got one on a stick bait that night, second cast, I think, yeah, second cast on a stick bait, and he had a 90 kilo tuna. Just unbelievable, but right conditions, definitely the right conditions, and getting those fish really schooling under the boat. Because you do find if you've got a bit of wind and current, you're not going to be able to bring that bait to the surface, but having no current, no wind, and not moving anywhere, that is what brought the bait up to the surface. And because we were able to bring the bait to the surface, we brought the fish to the surface with it. And they were just schooling under the boat, just the whole night. Yeah, and we managed 29 bluefin in 6 hours. Yeah, it was absolutely insane. And double trouble jigs all the way. That's what we were using all night. I just about used them all up. They were working good. For me personally, I've spent a lot of money on the boat, so I had an epic season last season, but this season I'm doing a lot better, and that's due to spending some money on the boat and putting a new transducer on the boat. Last year I had a lot of older technology and I wasn't able to mark the fish that well, but this year I've upgraded my sounder and my transducer, and I'm actually marking the bait and marking the fish a lot better. So I'm getting a lot more fish on the lures, whereas last year most of my fish were caught on the jigs. The challenges for this year with the bluefin season is we've had a very strong westerly current. This is what I can tell. The strong westerly current has been pumping for like 9 weeks, and it's flowing down into the Bay of Plenty, and it's shooting out coming out from the west to the east, and that strong current, I believe, is what slowed the rundown off Waihau. Definitely a lot less fish off Waihau this year compared with last year. Like, we were catching fish off Waihau, you know, only just at the end of June, even mid-June when we first went down there, we were getting them off Waihau. But this year, definitely a lot harder. Been fishing out east of Ranfurly Banks, and it's been plentiful because the fish are coming up the side and they're hitting that current, that strong westerly current, and then they're going wide. And also the warm water hung around for a long time this year. It's only really just moved out. We were getting 17.8 to 18 degrees off Waihau till just recently. So, and now it's dropped, now it's down to 16. So the fish are flying around the corner a lot thicker now. My future for striker, I see a bright future for striker. I've only just recently done my first year at the Three Kings. We only had 4 charters up there, so I did 4 weeks at the Three Kings, which is absolutely my dream, to take a boat up there and learn that area. So that's been really exciting. So this year, our first full bluefin season's been booked. So that's an amazing achievement for starters, and we're already nearly fully booked our next year's season for bluefin. We're over halfway full for our Three Kings season as well. So yeah, future for striker. Going to be up the Three Kings from start of February through till May. February, March, April, May, yeah. So try and do 4 months at the Three Kings, and then when we're done at the Three Kings, we come back to Tauranga and we get back into my bread and butter, which is the blue nose and harpooker and bass out off Mare Island, and fishing White Island and the Rangateras. And then, yeah, fully book up for bluefin season every year. It'd be nice to see striker book 3 years in advance and be hard out into it. John's an amazing guy to work with. I love the catch crew. I love taking them out fishing. They're an awesome bunch of dudes. Love the gear. The gear is indestructible. You know, I've been running catch gear for 3 years now. I think I've only serviced one jigging reel in 3 years, so it's blown me away. It's absolutely blown me away. You know, for a charter boat where this gear is in the elements 24/7, it doesn't leave the rod holders. You know, it's getting covered in salt spray every day, pretty much living underwater. And yeah, it's blown me away. I've only serviced 1 reel out of, I got 9 on board, so amazing gear. I've never broken a single rod, and the lures and like the jigs, everything just works. You know, it just works. You know, you put it down there, it catches fish. It's beautiful gear. I really like it. We're going to keep using it from forever.